Hi guys, welcome to another Rad Coding session by the Avail team, joined by Starknet team. Really exciting. Today we're actually going to hack on an amazing project that they built called Artpeace. We're definitely going to leave it to them to explain more about what it is. But we have joined with me Edgar from marketing. We have Robin from DevRel. We have Rishi from our engineering side, and not least Kyle from our BD side. So hopefully we'll get to do some fun side quests like we've always done. But before talking more about the tech, I'd love to introduce our guests. Rahan and Brandon, want to tell us more about your roles at the company?
Sure. I'm Rehan. You can pronounce it as Rehan or maybe Ray if that's what you prefer. I'm the ecosystem manager at Starkware. Basically been doing this, being helping the ecosystem to develop on Starknet, the layer two, since the last 1.5 years. Before this, I used to be based in London. I used to work for a venture capital fund called Entrepreneur First. Started my I'm primarily based in India as of now. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. I'm Brandon. I'm also with Starkware. Been with the company for about 1.5 years as well. Primarily building things like Artpeace and other apps. I'm on the exploration team. Our main focus is onboarding new apps, building MVPs, and trying to expand the ecosystem as much as we can, figure out pain points with developers, and just make Starknet a great place to be, I think.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to learn more about Artpeace, and I know the community is too. Care to screen share it for us?
Yes, I will do that. So, screen share. Sorry. Okay, I think it's good. Can you see it?
Yep, we can see it now.
Okay, cool. So essentially, this is Artpeace. So you just go to the site, art-piece.net, and you'll see this giant canvas. It's like a giant graffiti wall, you can think of it, of different artworks where people can come and place their pixels. It's open to anybody. You pretty much get like a pixel every 5 seconds, so you can go and draw.
That's awesome.
You can place 5 pixels at a time, and over time, everybody builds all these cool art pieces. We also have like different features like rankings where you can see how many pixels you've placed, and stencils where you can upload your own images. So when people build these more complex artworks, it's kind of hard to do together. So people will upload stencils that you can overlay, help you draw, and also use what we call the stencil bot, which pretty much just uses your pixels for you to help draw the images. So I actually uploaded just now one for this session. So I'll have the stencil bot going, I guess, while we're live. And if anybody else wants to draw on this stencil, maybe we can have it done before the live's over. But yeah, I guess that's the main.
Oh, I love that. Anyone in the community listening, please go and draw something. It'll be really cool to see that in real time. Love the Avail logo that you added there.
Yeah, I had them put together with ChatGPT.
Well, that's the point of this whole session, right? Using AI to get us where we need to go faster, which is really cool. What was the inspiration behind this art piece?
So if you're familiar, there was a big campaign that was done by Reddit called r/place, which was very, very similar to this, where every 30 seconds you would get 1 pixel you could place down. And they had one giant canvas, and they did it yearly. They haven't done it in a long time, but that was the main inspiration. But we really wanted to just create an app to kind of bring all these siloed communities that we have on Starknet together, have them work together to build art. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the core thesis was to let the community express themselves in how they deem fit. We started off as also doing season by season. So I think we did 4 seasons. I think at that point we got to a point where community didn't want the season to end. So we basically said, you know what, let's let this run as is, and let the community have their time. And before, and sub projects saw that, and they were like, look, we also want our communities to express themselves. So we managed to do a couple of I think we've done 7 or 8 campaigns till now with various communities like Herdao, They did a women empowerment campaign. Besu did a lending campaign. Ikubo did like a AMM campaign. Actually, Ikubo didn't do anything, but essentially Besu did, and then Stock Farm. Basically, we had like a bunch of communities come in and say, you know what, we want to let our communities express what they feel about the project and how they want to express themselves. And so, what you can see is basically 12 canvases that come together and form one canvas. People form factions, people do it solo, basically a place to express yourselves on chain. By the way, all this is like abstracted. You don't know you're actually using a wallet or crypto. You just go log in and like you create your account and like you play. That's it.
I love that. Han, you're dropping early knowledge already. Don't rely on AI to like ignore your community. You got to listen to what your community wants, and I am really amazed by this. So this is really cool. Well, let's vibe code on this. Robin, I know you had some ideas. What are you going to be doing in conjunction with like what they've already built to connect it to like Avail DA?
Yeah. So, I mean, Artpeace is a wonderful project, and I met Rehan at like Token 24 in Dubai, and we were just bouncing ideas off of each other, and we realized, hey, like why not, you know, s- basically put this Artpeace transactions and the canvas itself on Avail DA, and essentially what I was imagining is if we are able to kind of put all of the state transitions or like basically the transactions itself, and then maybe at a particular interval, if you are able to post the snapshot of the canvas itself, you technically kind of get an app chain kind of situation because uh, basically that's what an app chain is. You have got some state transition functions, you've got a state, and you can verify that final state based on that state transition functions, right? So uh, that's kind of what my initial idea was like what if we could just make a very MVP version of it? Like what if we could just uh, relay these transactions and states from the RT's backend and put it onto Avail DA? And one cool thing that I thought was this could be a good use case of TurboDA that we have. So we've got this offering that basically allows you to basically through an API call, you're able to submit data to Avail in a very simple manner. You just need the authentication or API key, and you can just submit that data, get a pre-confirmation of that submission of data. So you don't have to wait for like 40 to 60 seconds for the finalization of the data because you don't I mean as Artpeace, like you don't really need to wait for that finalization for DA. You just need that inclusion guarantee, right? So that's kind of where this idea was born out of. And yeah, and we'll probably try to wipe code it as well. And I mean, outside of the vibe coding, we'll probably try and make this into much more secure and much more I guess production ready, and then hopefully do something with it with the campaign, which Christine can probably talk more about. uh, I think we're doing it next week, but yeah, Christine, you can take it from there about the campaign that we might be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So next Thursday, May 22nd, what we would love to do is launch a campaign where we have a competition for people to, vibe code on Artpiece as well. Potentially see like what you can do, what art you can create, and I think like what we want to do is incentivize by $500 worth of Avail tokens for prizes up for grabs based off of the competition. So more information to come on that soon, which we'll post all about that after the vibe coding session today. But really excited for that and to see what you guys like build. But Robin, would love to like dive into the vibe coding. Let's see like what's going to happen, what we're going to break, any side quests that we have going on.
Yep. Okay, so let me. Oh wait. Yeah. Okay. Trying to get my screen. Just give me a second.
All right, we'll wait for Robin to get back on, and then we'll get his screen shared. Before we hop into this, does anyone have any words of wisdom for the community?
Maybe less
We
words
use-
of wisdom.
Can we use
I was gonna say,
MyPHP?
hopefully we don't break too much.
But breaking things is part of the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get fixed. But you're right. I understand it. Like when you like see someone else touching your code and your baby in code, that's difficult. So
It's not even like a person; it's like the AI that's going to be touching it as well.
that's true. Even worse or better. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll get to both side of things. All right, welcome back, Robin.
Yeah, sorry about that. Mac
Yeah,
issues.
no.
Anyway, so what I wanted to first show is, okay, so we have this Artpeace repo that we have cloned. We're running it in the background. That's all great. But first, I wanted to kind of talk about uh, the TurboDA aspect that we are kind of like trying to kind of integrate, right? So TurboDA itself is like a service that we have at Avail where you can like just submit your data, wait for the submission ID, and then just with the submission ID, basically you get that pre-confirmation that the data will be posted to Avail eventually, like it will be included in the block eventually. So essentially, we've got a dashboard that would look something like this, and actually integrating it is also pretty easy. So I'll actually go to the docs. So my entire approach is, how would a new developer actually want to do this integration? How would they actually go through the docs and figure out how to do this? And we'll obviously prompt cursor to do its thing, but we'll do it with the docs so that it does it properly, right? So obviously now I'm at docs.availproject.org. I know that I want to go to the API reference here, and I know we have a TurboDA API reference here, right? So TurboDA, it's basically, we're going to be basically running it on Turing testnet on this live stream. So I've already got that integrated. Basically, I've already got that open up. And when I go to this TurboDA dashboard, I see that I've already logged in. I've got basically a data balance, which is basically some credits that's assigned to my account. And I have to set something called as this app ID or application ID, and I have an API key, right? So I've already generated my API key, and I've already actually set it up in the backend env file so that it's not exposed on this live stream. But even though it's exposed, it's fine. I will cancel it after this live stream anyway, so just in case. But yeah, so we've got this TurboDA dashboard. That's cool. But now let's just take a look at this doc here. We just want to submit some data. So whatever that data is, right? So on Artpeace, it can be something like the transactions that's coming through Starknet on the Artpeace contracts. Whatever that is, we would just probably be submitting that raw data. So, I mean, we can convert this into a code format that would be called, this API would basically be called on the backend there, right? So we basically submit this data, and eventually we get some kind of response which would have the submission ID, which we can then check if that submission ID is basically finalized or if it's pending or whatever. So it's that simple as that. Basically, we just get the data from the backend that we want to submit, and we just submit it like this, right? So it's actually pretty simple. If we want to check and verify that whatever data that we're sending is the same data, we can obviously, once we have the submission ID, we are able to fetch the pre-image of that and get that data back from TurboDA as well. So that's all cool. So first things first, let's set our app ID, right? Because on our dashboard, we need to set an app ID. Right now, we have I've set it to some random app ID, but let's actually put it into an app ID that we really want to have. So I'm going to switch to appid.availproject.org. I'm going to connect some random wallet that I already have. And the cool thing that we have at this appid.availproject.org is that basically you can filter the data. Basically, you give it some kind of a namespace such that you can filter later on based on the app ID just for the data that you've submitted, right? So in that sense, let's actually go ahead and create our own app ID here. So I'm just going to call this Artpeace demo. I'm going to try and create that application key. Hopefully I've got enough gas for this, by the way. So while that happens, we'll actually go back into our cursor. So let me actually change my screen here. Okay, so I mean, we've already gotten the app ID that we've generated. It's actually app ID 436, which we will be using. So actually, let me do that again. All right, yeah. So as you can see, we've got this app ID of 436. What we're going to be doing on the TurboDA dashboard is, and you can see the app key is this is the ID, this is the owner, that is the wallet that generated this. So I'm going to just put 436 as the app ID for our app here. That's great, and that's done. All right, so the boring part is done. Right now, let's actually do the vibe coding. Right, so all I need is the API key, which I've already stored, and that means go to my cursor, which again, so fun thing about this is I have never actually paid for an AI tool before this, and this is the first, I guess, first few days I'm actually using something like Cursor. So this is going to be a very new experience for me as well. I've usually just used like anything that's free out there, so kind of stingy on that front, but we'll see how it goes.
We're going to circle back on that, Robin. I want to know how you feel about the payments to that.
Well, let's see. I mean, exciting. Let's see. So as you can see here, I'm already running Artpeace on my local machine right now. This is so that we can hopefully test things out as we go. But let's see. Yeah. Okay. So in order to do this integration, I mean, kind of pretty easy. What I'll first do is I will go back to our docs and give. I'll actually pull this link. Okay, so on my docs here, my idea is I will first give the context to whatever our model is, whatever the AI agent is. We'll give it the context. Okay, based on this context, I want you to learn how to submit data to Avail via TurboDA. Do not code. So I've learned this from Christine from the previous vibe coding session. So do not code. I just want you to read and learn. Okay, so right. So what we're doing here is we are giving it basically the context to how to potentially go about integrating this. So we see some things that's actually looking at. Okay, so it has figured out that, okay, you can just use this curl command to submit a file or submit raw data, and you get back this response, right? So that's great. It has understood what it needs, like how it has to do it. So that's great. Now we just have to figure out, where and what data that we want to pull and actually submit to Avail DA here. So this code base is actually pretty big, and I did cheat a little bit. I did do some homework before I actually came on this live stream. Otherwise, we would not reach anywhere because it's a pretty big code base with lots of files going around. So I did take some help from Brandon before this call, and he mentioned that one of the best ways, like one of the optimal ways that we could probably kind of do this is essentially in the indexer. If we go to this root.go folder, it basically indexes all of the messages from the Starknet Artpeace contracts. And what we want to do is that it basically gets some data like this. So actually what we can do is we can just process the accepted messages, which is whatever messages that are processed and basically accepted on the L2 or Starknet. We just need to process those, right? So that's what we would be now doing. So what I'm going to probably try and do here now is I would, let me see. How do you guys want me to actually process this? Brandon, do you actually think that I should ask the AI to get the data from within this function over here, or do you want me to actually go inside this process message function and put the API call there, essentially? What do you suggest? Because it's your code base, you know it best.
Yeah, I would suggest doing so what we'll actually be using is the try process finalized messages, which is the one above this, I think. Like the function call above this one in the code. The reason being that the demo that you're running for the Artpeace locally is using old data. So they're all finalized messages instead of accepted. But
Okay.
essentially, I would recommend doing it in here personally, because process message is more generic than just finalized messages. And since I think we just want to post DA for things that have been accepted on the L2 and not optimistically post, I think that this is the best spot. Yeah. I mean, that would be what I would probably do.
Okay. Sounds good. So this is what I'm going to be possibly trying to do. Okay, so I will probably try and give this into context, right? I can do that. Add to chat. Great. So I'm going to add that into chat as well, because I would probably wanted to, I want to say that, try and fit this code into this particular function. So I want to get the indexed message from try process finalize messages function, and basically just post the message. Oh, so I'm assuming I'll have to just pick up this message, right, and post it. Is that right, Brandon? Would you say that is the right way to do it?
There will be a little bit of extra data we probably don't need, but yeah, I think that's probably the easiest way to go about it.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess that should be fine for now, I guess. We'll see, right? Okay, so basically just post the message or finalized messages to Avail via the TurboDA using the auth key in .env. So I have auth key and as so this is very different to how like someone else would do it. I'm trying to be very exact in how I want to do this. Some people just like to type in a very abstract manner and hope it works. I am trying to be more exact so that it does what it's supposed to do. But let's see, right? So I want to get the index message from try process finalized messages function and basically just post the message or the finalized messages to Avail via the TurboDA whenever you receive it. Okay, just gonna hit OK and see what happens.
All right. No returning.
So let's see.
Let's also have it add in some logging too, so we can hopefully see on the console like what it's posting. That could be pretty cool. Oh wow, it's already completed.
Okay, that's great. All right. Okay. All right, so looks like it has done what it wants to do. So I'll just accept everything. I don't know what's happening. There's something happening below. Okay. Now, so it's basically created a function, submit to Avail TurboDA, has gotten the API key, converts the message into JSON, and tries to post it. Okay. And is it okay? Yeah, it is actually calling this message, this function here, but it still continues processing. Okay, cool. I guess this works. But how do I test it? Is the question, which I don't really have an answer to here.
Before testing, Robin, can you ask it to add in logging so that way we can see each step of the way, like what it's going to do?
Yes, I can do that. So could you also add some logging to this so that we can see what data is being submitted, the submission ID. Yeah, I think that should be enough, I guess. So we'll say okay. All right, so it has given me something. It's doing again some magic, which I have no idea what it's doing. Okay, would you like me to add any additional logging or modify the format of the existing logs?
Nice.
I mean, so the format would look something like this. Submitting to Willy a message order key X events Y, and it also logs the submission ID. I mean, it's fine, I guess. Looks fine to me.
Yeah. Looks like it did it without adding 2,000 lines of code too.
Yep. Okay. So that's done. Now, Brandon, I would need your expertise here on how I would potentially make sure if this is actually working or not.
Yes. So in the terminal, you would pretty much just stop the Docker Compose. So we're using Docker Compose to run. So now you would use, since it's probably best to completely restart everything, just in case, you can do Docker compose down with the volumes, yeah. And then you'll build it and then restart.
All right. I guess building might take some time, so maybe do we want to segue for a bit into, hey boss, Kyle, are you there? Or like Rishi or Scott? Do you guys have any ideas for today that we want to maybe try?
Who has an idea today? Edgar? Or if not, Kyle left us with one. So we can always do that one.
Well, I mean, I was thinking maybe we can. It's not Hey Boss, but maybe we can go play around with Space and Time. Right? They just launched this week. They have a AI dashboarding tool. It's pretty cool, right? I think anyone who's ever made dashboards, Rishi, a shout out to Rishi. He makes our dashboards. It's a tedious process. So they've unlocked a way where you can prompt the AI and it builds dashboards for you. We could try that.
That could be pretty cool. Did we lose Robin? Robin? All right. While we wait for him to come back, Edgar, post me the link and
Right.
go do that.
Sending it across. So that's their studio. I'll post it to the public chat too.
That's pretty cool. All right, let's present. We'll do here. All right, is this it?
That is it, yep.
Okay, pretty cool. All right, so looks like we can log in or register. Oh, well, it's going to show everything. Maybe we won't do that. Let me do that on a different screen, and then we'll just get logged in. Give me just a sec. We try to be somewhat secure over here.
For the viewers, if you look off to the left of their UI, you can see all the data sets that they have. So, some pretty big chains on there, Bitcoin, Ethereum, ZK Sync, Polygon. So if you guys ever wanted to create a dashboard around those metrics, right, transactions per second, anything that you can really think of, you can come on here, you can prompt it. Normally, you use a SQL query. Here, you could just type it out and it'll do it for you. So it's pretty cool stuff.
Ah, okay. So I can either use SQL or I can simply just do the prompt here. All right, let me check it out. So what do we want to search for?
Good question. Well, we were talking about NFTs earlier. Maybe we can do something around NFTs on Ethereum to see if if we're back.
All right, let's be super broad. Give me a count of all the NFTs. Let's see what happens here. All right. Oh, email.
You gotta be kidding me. Okay.
Okay, so we have to go through the whole setup process. No worries.
This is interesting though, right? How many dApps go through the actual setup process, right? Where that
Not many.
Not many. Seeing some UX improvements here.
Yeah. How do we feel about it though? Blending Web 2 and Web 3? Because normally it would just be a wallet, right? Versus, and then I could just be kind of like anonymous here, but it looks like that is not quite the case. Obviously, I could probably create just a simple email and just use that, but okay. Let's refresh. Okay, give me a count of all the NFTs on Ethereum. Oh, and Robin's back. Welcome back, Robin.
Hello.
I think maybe refresh or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did refresh. So let's see. Okay, let's try it again. Hello. No. Let's try here. Maybe it doesn't like that I verified somewhere else. Yes, that's what it is. Okay, unrelated to space and time. Well, that's very smart of the AI here. Give me a count of all the NFTs on Ethereum, and let's see how it interprets that.
Okay, something's happening.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love the UI of this. It looks very Hey Boss like as well, like in color schemes and everything. And Brandon and Amrahan, just so that way you know, Hey Boss is like a really cool like AI tool that just builds everything from scratch for you, and it launches it on its own infrastructure. So if you're non-technical, that's what we have people like try out. And let's go next. Okay, 2.74 million total NFTs. Okay, now that's cool. Now I want to dig into data to see how accurate this is. But Space and Time, pretty cool team. I'm pretty sure that they've done their due diligence, and this is probably a pretty accurate number. So pretty cool. Like you can check out any sort of data sets that they have here, and like use their AI tool to create the SQL. So you don't have to know SQL, but if you do know SQL, you can modify it, which is great, and then get all the data you want. I feel like if I had to equate this to something that exists, it's like doing analytics on steroids.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Love this, guys. But Robin, sorry, we got sidetracked. I know you're back. Should we get back to the actual coding?
Yeah, sure. I think it's still building, so we have time.
Oh,
Yeah. So let's see. Trying to share my screen here. Is there a way I can share more than one screen? Oh no.
no, I think it'll just be one.
Yeah, that's terrible. All right, no problem. Actually, are you able to see my screen? I think StreamYard is acting weird for me. Let me try that again. Are you not able to see my screen?
Yep, we can see it now.
Okay, awesome. Okay. I don't know what I am actually trying to do. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, because it's still building, I'm just trying to see what I can get a Hayboss to also kind of do meanwhile. So, what I've kind of put as my prompt is I wanted to build a private records application that respects personal ID and data, for instance, in the medical industry, right? So, that's what we're asking Hayboss to build today. We've got like 7.5 minutes left on that. Let's see what that would potentially lead to. Yeah, I mean, meanwhile, I'll go back to our cursor screen and we can take a look into some code that makes Artpeace. Hopefully you can see my screen again. Yeah, looks like this is acting a bit weird. Good. It says my browser can't access the screen for some reason. You know what, just give me a second. I'll just log out and come back again and we'll try it again.
All right, sounds good.
Christine, I think for the next whiteboard session, we should work on that block visualization that we were working on. like changing stuff, making it 3D. Like we can do it actually real time as well. Like I think I haven't touched it ever since like the last changes that you made.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Other fun
Yeah.
ideas for getting more mini apps like deployed.
Right. Yeah, I think like it has. I mean, it was just briefly that we discussed about making it 3D, but I think we can add a lot of other things as well. And once we'll have Edgar, Naruto, and everyone on the call, I think we can share some ideas that we want to add.
Love it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And just in time, Robin's back. Welcome back, Robin.
Hello. Yeah,
Why did you
sure.
change your camera angle, Robin?
Oh, I had an external camera setup, but I think it was causing a lot of issues on StreamYard because my laptop cannot do too much at a time. So I was having some
In
trouble.
other words, he's trying to get his good side instead of his bad side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I mean, all right, you caught me. All right. So, okay, I think it has finished building. So I'll try, spinning up the containers now. Hopefully, it works. But overall, this code looks fine to me, right? Like, it creates this.
And so what's happening in the code? Right now, it's just sending the data to Avail, waiting for the
Yeah.
submission ID, and then logging that.
Yep. So basically, what it's doing is it's getting the finalized messages from the Artpeace contracts, and what it is doing is basically getting that message, and it is being passed into this function. And what this function does is essentially, post. It's basically doing an API call, post call into our TurboDA, which would then post it to Avail, right? And we get back the response, we get back the submission ID, which we would log. At least that's the idea, right? Let's see.
Looks like it's doing.
Awesome.
Yeah, it works, but says that the API key variable is
Keys
not set, which is weird because it is set. So
So if you're using environment variables with Docker Compose, usually you'll need to add them to, or you could do them in a .m file, but you'll have to like add it to the Docker Compose as well.
okay.
Yeah, we probably
Okay,
should have done.
I'll let the AI to do this. That's why we're vibe coding it, right? So
Yeah.
looks like I am using Docker, but I have set my API key in .env file in root folder. Can you identify the problem and fix it?
Yep. It's doing exactly what you said, Brandon.
Yep. And we're going to accept whatever it tells me to do. And we are going to accept that. So it's made some changes. Okay, that's cool. And I'm going to spin this down. No issues.
And rebuild.
You shouldn't have to rebuild it for a Docker Compose change.
Yeah. I'll just run it up again.
Oh yeah, it even tells you in the prompt. Yeah, cool.
Okay, so just run this. Oh wait, never mind. This AI is sometimes dumb. It doesn't allow. It doesn't change into the correct directly, so that's fine. I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. And okay,
All right. Fingers crossed. It's going to
fingers
work.
crossed. Oh wait,
Yeah,
we
I
do get a submission ID. We
see.
do see get submission ID, which is great actually.
Nice. Yeah.
Is great. So one thing we can do here is let's actually open up another terminal here. Just I don't want to actually put into the code. I just want to check the pre-image. Like, can we actually get it? Oh, I have to put my API key over here. Actually, never mind. On second thought. Oh wait, you know what? Screw that. Is it okay if I expose my API key here? Is that fine, Christine? Do you approve of it?
Oh, I approve. I approve. Take all the test tokens.
Yes,
Definitely
fine.
no buy.
It's fine. It's fine. And I
So
will
no, in
put
all seriousness, one of the, I guess, downsides of AI is that developers get in trouble because they'll post the entire env file into like the chat, and now everybody has access to it, which is fun because like I heard a while back you could actually ask AI, "Hey, I need a test key for XYZ," and it will pull from the repo ahead of all the developers that provided it and give it to you. So there's your other hack.
yeah. And okay, looks like we have a really big amount of data, but we can actually see what data is being posted, has been posted to Avail here actually. So we see that there is an order key and unique key. We can see the block status is accepted on L1 and yada yada yada. We see all of this data, which obviously we don't want to decode right now, but I mean, at least it works. One thing I can also kind of check is let's actually go to my browser real quick and take a look at Subscan Turing.
See that?
All right, so this is the Avail Explorer. We'll go to the data submission part. I don't remember what my app ID was. Let me just check that as well.
Started with a 4.
It's 430. Yeah, it was 4. Oh, it's actually here. So this here, I'll just filter it anyway, just so that we see only our app ID. Oh, okay, so we are actively submitting data, which is actually really cool. And it's actually quite a large amount of data, and it is happening. So I would say this is a success. I don't know, are we at time yet? Do we have more time to try and put the canvas also in, or no?
Have about 10 minutes. So we can put it in.
I mean, we can try unless we have anything else to do in the next 10 minutes.
Well, I'd love to hear from like Brandon because he's definitely the star engineer who like built the entire code repo that we've been hacking away at. Hopefully not too painful for you watching us go through this. But AI, I think, did a pretty good job this time. It didn't completely bloat the code. I mean, I felt like it should have adhered to like your structure and created like a separate file. But you know, those are things you can always create later. It's like, hey, export this, create a separate file, so that way we can segment it. But curious to hear your thoughts. It sounded like it sort of ran through a similar process that you might have taken, but did it deviate? Was it like on par? Just anything from you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was pretty impressed. Like looking at the code, it pretty much did like exactly what I imagined I would have done if I was doing this integration myself. Maybe added some better error handling if I was doing it. And like you said, maybe separating the code a bit more. But Going into it, I guess it was a little stressful. Like maybe it would add like thousands of lines because the code base is really big. So yeah, I was kind of imagining it might be hard to pinpoint where to add stuff. But I mean, honestly, everything looked great to me. Pretty impressive that it could do it so quick. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it was like the co-pilot for your brain because as Robin mentioned in the beginning, he asked you like, where in the code should we look? And a lot of times, like you can just go to AI, just like, hey, I don't know where to look, just add this, and it will take a while, maybe like a minute, search, and then add it somewhere. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. But like, because you know exactly where to go, it's able to be a lot faster, more thoughtful, like with its output. So yeah, I really like it when it's really like paired with like an engineer that knows exactly what has to happen here, because we get the end result faster.
Yeah, I guess I know the best way to add, or like the best guardrails to add, because like I created all of the code, so using that as a guide, I guess, was really good. But yeah, that's awesome. This is really cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Robin. Anything else we want to share with the community? Or were there any new art pieces pasted onto Artpeace that we want to show?
Looks like the art.
I mean, I don't have any.
Sorry. Looks like the stencil I made is still being drawn. It takes a while because you only get like a pixel every 5 seconds. But it's making progress.
Maybe we can see the progress. Let me add to.
I mean, we should be seeing more of these because I mean, I don't know if we should say this, but we probably will run like a Avail contest on Artpeace. So I think people should join next week, Thursday, and like draw your hearts out and what you feel about the Avail community on chain.
That would be awesome. All right, we have to come with some awesome ideas of things that we can draw to. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's your vibe coding session for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Brandon and Rahan, for like joining us and giving us exposure to Artpeace and letting us hack away at it a little bit on our side. So we'll clean this up, hopefully get it pushed out, and then we'll start to see more Artpeace data on Avail. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye. See you all next week on the canvas.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.